Shafiei now, next. Really along those same lines, we heard a lot about technology and innovation from Zach. Can you tell us how Shift DBS is leveraging technology and innovation to improve operations and improve efficiency?
Absolutely. First, I want to take a moment and thank you, President Reynolds and esteemed commissioners, assembly members joining us today, and Senator Bradford, congratulations and thank you for your service. And to be sitting here among these amazing leaders in the industry is truly humbling, and I'm eternally grateful for this opportunity. Shift DBS has been in business now for a little over 2 years. And although our organization is new, my business partner and I have a combined experience of 46 years working in the gas and electric utilities in California. And during that time, we learned a lot about best practices and lessons learned, particularly when it comes to suppliers and seeing which ones succeeded. And we implement those best practices here at Shift DBS to ensure that our clients are successful and continue to thrive. Now, one of the best practices that we gained was during COVID-19. And we saw that when suppliers pivoted and they embraced technology, started learning about doing work remotely, they succeeded. And some of them actually had their best year to date. And those that were more resistant to change, they just had a hard time staying afloat. So at Shift DBS, we understand that, and we implement that in everything that we do. For example, we have a platform, Supplier Business Connect, and that's really like a LinkedIn for our contractors and suppliers, so they have more visibility within the utility space. But also on the operational side, Shift DBS has been able to reduce costs significantly. By being able to implement technology, we've been able to automate a lot of our processes and reduce costs on labor and on capital. And because of that, we're able to actually support our clients even better than we have before. Now, we are a small company and we are lean, but we are growing fast. And in the next 2 to 3 years, we do want to branch out of into additional areas outside of the utilities. But in order to stay lean, we do have to continue to implement technology. And President, on a personal note, I want to say that I have an 8-year-old son, my oldest, and he's a genius, I think. But I'm a mom, so maybe I say that. But he recently learned about ChatGPT, just because I was talking about it. And within 2 days, he was able to build his own online game using ChatGPT. So it's apparent that the kids today are all in when it comes to technology. And in just a few years, they're going to reshape the entire industry, which is really amazing. But it's also a wake-up call for businesses like myself and everybody else who essentially has a job. Because if we don't leverage technology today, these 80-year-olds will be taking our businesses in the future. So at Shift DBS, we understand that, and we ensure that our clients not only leverage technology, but they stay ahead of it, because it is important to stay relevant. Thank you.
Thank you for that. I also have a son who's a genius, so.
I understand.
I really appreciate the reference to our young people. It's the future of our state, and just the importance of technology and how we see young people really embracing it. A question now on subcontractors. So one thing that stands out in the reports from the utilities on supplier diversity is that subcontractors have a relatively low percentage of diversity. And so I wanted to ask you to talk about that a little bit. What do you see as the value of subcontracting in relation to engaging diverse suppliers?
Thank you for that. To answer this question, we must first look at it from a utilities perspective. Utilities are always looking to modernize their infrastructure because they want to build the cleanest, safest, most reliable service for their customers. That is the ultimate goal. And in order for utilities to do this, they need to have suppliers. And for utilities to have a very great supply chain, they need to have a robust supply diversity program. But we need to be clear on something. Supplier diversity is not just about diverse suppliers. It's really about the relationship between primes and subcontractors. And when there is a strategic partnership between them, it can actually be a win-win, and they can do some tremendous thing. But also, the utilities needs to hold primes accountable. Now, you mentioned the data, and at Shift DBS, we also look at the utilities data every year, and we publish our own report. And we have seen that over the past several years, the subcontracting is relatively low. And in some areas, they're not even reported. And that is something that can be changed. Now, one thing that maybe I would propose to the commission today is that within General Order 156, we do have goals associated with different categories of spend. And it may be time now to look at having subcontracting as a goal. This will help the utilities to hold primes accountable. And when we're talking about holding primes accountable, they can make sure that A, primes do pay their subcontractors in a timely manner. And secondly, when a prime participates in a bid, in an RFP, and they include a list of subcontractors, once the prime wins that bid, the utilities must ensure that those subcontractors are also working on the project with the prime. That is essential. And when we're talking about primes, it shouldn't be about diverse or non-diverse. It should be about any prime. Within General Order 156, it says that if a contractor or a prime is doing $1 million in construction with the utility, the utility should encourage them to do subcontracting. Well, in this case, it should be all primes. And when utilities have a robust subcontracting program, it can be very beneficial. We talked about insurance earlier. That could also alleviate some of that pain. There will be a lot more resources available, which is another issue that's going on. There'll be creation of more jobs and opportunities. And ultimately, it will help the utilities build their infrastructures cleaner, safer, and more reliable for their customer, which is all of us essentially. So this could truly be a win-win across the board. Thank you.
Thank you.